Hi everyone, it's Mary from PsychicSoulmateReading.com, and I got a message today to give you your reading. Now, I'm doing this reading for the week, for our week. We have an interesting week coming up. It's from April 5th to April 12th, and what we have going is a Mercury retrograde coming up soon. Mercury goes retrograde from April 9th to May 3rd. And what that means is that the planet Mercury is going retrograde. It's not really going backwards, it's an illusion that it's going backwards. And if you know the story about Mercury retrograde, everything that electronical messages, anything that deals with like gadgets or computers or any kind of message carriers tend to just go a little wonky. Now, don't freak out about that, because you just got to be calm, breathe, and just know that it's going to pass. So I know it sounds like it's a doomsday prediction, but it's not. Actually, what it is that the planet Mercury is ruled by it's a fast-moving communication planet, and it's going, like I said, it's sort of like looking like it's going backwards, and it can put a lot of stress on us, so when you're aware of it, you can actually offset a lot of the negativity, you can say, but it's not really negative. It's more just things that you need to look at, or something that you need to reevaluate. And with saying that, also there's going to be additional 4 planets that are going to be going retrograde, which is Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, and Pluto. So they're all going to be retrograde, so don't freak out about that either, because they're actually time for you to actually ground yourself and to look at things and face things for they are. But it's actually a time for you to just get yourself together, reevaluate your life, okay? Reevaluate things, looking at things, spring cleaning, so don't freak out if you hear somebody saying, "Oh, Mercury is going retrograde." It's the most popularist one. You hear that every so often, and you got to know that it's just, take it with a grain of salt and just go with the flow and just do your best, because things seem to come from the woodworks, and it's just a thing that you need to look at to grow. Okay, we have a full moon in Libra on April the 11th, so that's going to be interesting because energies get heightened, and that's what this reading is about. That's why I said this is going to be an interesting reading. I'm just going to do a 3-card spread for us, and it's going to help us to it's going to give us some guidance and help us to look at what we need to focus on for this week. And anyways, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin the reading. So I always begin the reading with deep breathing techniques before I do readings. I'm always meditating before, so I did that just before I started this. So I'm just calling upon a higher power, calling upon the angels, calling upon God, Jesus, ascended masters, and saints. Give us a reading, what we need to know today. Okay, so I'm shuffling the cards, asking for a message. What do we need to know for our week ahead? These cards need to be shuffled. That's what I feel. Oh, I should have told you what I'm reading with. I'm reading with Mystic Dreamer. They're very beautiful. Okay, they're shuffled enough. Cutting the cards in 3 piles. Okay, so I'm going to put out the first card. It seems to be sticking together with 1. I guess that means it needs to be 2. So that's the Queen of Cups. So I'm just going to put that next to it. So that would be the 4 of Wands. That's an interesting. They seem to be sticking for some reason. All right. Okay, so the first card that came up is the Queen of Cups. You gotta love the imagery. I don't know if you can see that with the glare of the light. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. And the Queen of Cups, well, what I see her doing, she has a cup in her hand, and she kind of looks like, well, she kind of looks a little tipsy, if you can see that. I'm just kidding. Anyway, she's got her wine or something. She looks very relaxed and very chilled out. What the Queen is telling us is that you need to nurture yourself. And I know you hear this a lot, but you need to pamper yourself. The Queen of Cups is a dreamy card. She's a water card. She's a water sign. She's nurturing energy. And what the Queen represents is that you need to take power take your power, and you need to nurture yourself if there's something that you've been depriving yourself of, and I'm not talking about like buying yourself something nice and pretty, I'm talking about have you been depriving yourself of something that is good for you? Have you been depriving yourself from doing something that you really want to do for yourself? Is there an exercise program that you've been wanting to do? Have you been wanting to try that fitness class? Have you been wanting to find that perfect yoga class, or that perfect time for that yoga class? Or you've been saying, no, I have to get all my eggs together in a basket, or however that saying goes. It's like I have to get all my ducks in a row before I can do that. Have you been telling yourself that? And what about like healthy eating? Have you been telling yourself, oh, I'm going to go on a diet tomorrow? Have you been maybe just, overindulging into things? Maybe there's been something that, you know what I'm talking about, something in yourself that you've been depriving yourself, or even meditating, or just doing something for yourself. Like I said, it doesn't have to be buying yourself something and splurging. That's not what it's about. It's about doing something that your future self would thank you for, and you know what that means. Now, when you put yourself forward and first, you can do everything else. If you don't take care of yourself, darling, then how are you going to take care of anybody? It's important that you take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't be the supporter for everybody else that you want to do and for your dreams. So, and it relates to love as well. Like, if you're not nurturing yourself, how are you going to be able to give love? You're not going to be able to give the love that you want or receive the love, because you're going to be stressed out. And that's what I get from that. Now, the card that was sticking next to it was the Four of Wands. And I'll show you there. They look really happy together. They are embracing, and it looks like that they're dancing. And there's a castle in back of them, and there's a full moon. It almost reminds me, there's also a crow. There's a couple of birds there. It kind of reminds me of the Beauty and the Beast storyline. And I don't know if you've gone to see that, but that's my favorite movie, Disney movie. And my all-time favorite. Well, I have a lot of favorites, but that is like the most favorite movie of all time for me. And it just relates to, think about it. It's telling you something that you have to look within. You have to go within. There's something in your life, someone in your life, that you're overlooking. Like, sometimes we tend to get upset with someone, and we overlook that maybe that other person's having a bad day. Maybe they react a certain way because they are not happy. So you have to remember that. Like, it's no excuse for somebody that's abusive language or abusive behavior. No, I'm not saying that. But you have to give the person the benefit of doubt in your life or around you. Now, this can mean a loved one, it can be anyone that you care about, or someone that's in your life, maybe in the workplace. I do this reading as a collective, so you have to take this and apply it to your situation and to your life, to this person that I'm talking about. So what I'm trying to say is, look at this person and just say, give that person a little bit of a hug or a breather. Give that person a break and say, you know what? I'm sorry, I took it the wrong way. Just give the person the benefit of the doubt of something. Just look at the person and just know that the person doesn't mean what they say. They're really not all that mean to you, or not mean, but I'm using the wrong words, but sort of like cold. Like, I feel coldness. So there's more to the situation. Just like the Beauty and the Beast storyline, I don't work for Disney or for the movie company, but you got to go see it, right? It relates to that there's more to the situation than meets the eye, okay? So we also got the Nine of Swords, and the Nine of Swords, it's not as pretty as the other cards. As you can see, there's she's in bed, and it's a traditional Rider-Waite format where she's in bed and she doesn't sleep at night, and she has lots of anxiety, and she's just like she's really upset, and she's a little teddy bear beside her, and she's just full of thoughts that are telling her that she's not good enough, and that she's not lovable, that she's not worthy, all of the above. all of these mean things that are telling her that she's not good and that she's making up stories now, or he, I mean, this is relating to you, that the stories in your mind are not true and they're emotional and they're just things to just make you feel more worse than what you were feeling. Sometimes we tend to view other people as being very restricting to us, and we feel that they're the cause and we blame them for why we become the victim. For some reason we're always like in a fight. Like a fight, an argument is actually, oh, who's the winner of the victim badge, you know. It's kind of like sorry if I sound mean, but I gotta give you this, right? I gotta tell you what I see. And I feel that there's just a lot of anxiety for nothing. And I'm not saying that what your problem is nothing, but you gotta just put on that protective shield and just not let all of those thoughts patterns that are just made up stories that are making you feel bad, because actually they're from somewhere else. It's all coming from the past, okay? And especially with Mercury retrograde, because it can bring up a lot of stuff from the past. If somebody has hurt you in the past or has said something to you to make you feel bad, like in the past, then like those thoughts will go back to the past and they will come right back and they will make you feel worse. So you can basically sabotage yourself. I ask myself all the time, it happens to me. Why do we do this why do I do this to myself? So it's just basically telling you that it's just a mental stuff that's happening right now. So take a breather and just know and trust. You are beautiful. You are loved. You have everything that you need. You repeat the mantra, I am enough. And I am beautiful and everybody loves me. I know it sounds like as if I'm candy coating everything and, you know, looking at everything with rose colored glasses. But actually, you know what? I'm not actually. I'm just trying to give you what the prescription and the medicine is. So your medicine is to be strong about that and to know that it's not real. The third card, well actually it's the fourth card, but it's for well actually what we need to know right now for the future, for the immediate future. And we got the 9 of Wands. And okay, so the 9 of Wands is telling you to put down your guard and just be free, because you've been protecting yourself. You kind of feel like you're on guard with someone. You feel as if you have to protect yourself from allowing yourself to seem vulnerable. And you know, it's more like I said, you got to put down the guard, because the more you put down the guard, guess what, the other person's going to put the guard up and you're going to mirror that. And so just remember something, your thoughts create your reality and your future. So if you're having thoughts that are guarded, then you will put out those energies, and that other person will feel the guard and will feel, oh, I'm going to be resistant. You know, like it's like we're all mirrors to each other. We're all reflections to each other. And when we make other people feel good, it's just a reflection of how we're feeling. So we basically are like in exchange. We're giving and receiving love all the time. So if you're feeling like you want to resist somebody and because that person, you're afraid, or you're like, I'm talking about fear, I'm talking about holding back, all of these things, those feelings inside, those thoughts, and the stories is, when is he going to call? When is she going to call? When are they going to ever pop the question? Why don't they do something? Do they love me? And oh, I can go on and on and on about that, you know, and you know what I'm talking about. And so the more we put that into our mind and think those things, the more we're going to attract that. We're just telling the universe, I want more. I want more of that. I want that person to be more so. Think about it. So try to reprogram your thoughts into happy thoughts. And I know that sounds really, you know, how do we do that? Well, you have to feel your pain. You have to feel, you have to know that the pain, of course you're feeling your pain or your whatever you're feeling, it's all right. You have to just know that it's not who you really are. Who you really are is pure love. You vibrate all love and happiness. Like you're made out of love. Your spirit is made out of love. It's just pure love. you know, and your soul is just, it just gathers all this information, and like there's just a lot of your soul wants you to grow, and your soul is growing. So I hope this reading was helpful for you. And if you would like to learn more about getting a personalized reading, visit my website, psychicsoulmatereading.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will be posting lots of videos and more stuff, more to come. So until next time, you have yourself a gorgeous week. Love you all. Namaste.